Welcome to Midnight Guest. If you're hearing my voice, then it's already too late to turn back. Tonight, you'll hear 3 phone calls that should never have been answered. One from a line that didn't exist, one from a friend long since gone, and one that warned of death before it came. Each one different, each one worse than the last. So dim the lights, keep your phone face down, and listen carefully, because once these rings get in, they don't always leave with the morning. They stay, echoing in your ears, waiting for silence. Now, let me tell you the first story. She was watching 2 kids in an old house with long breathing halls and vents that sighed with every change of the wind. Upstairs, night lights glowed like pale moons on the walls. Downstairs, the kind of quiet that feels heavier the longer you sit in it. At 11:47 p.m., the landline rang. A sharp antique bell, far too loud for a sleeping house. She answered. "Hello?" Static filled her ear, then a hollow click. The line went dead, leaving her heartbeat louder than anything else. She set the phone down, shook her head, told herself it was nothing. But 20 minutes later, the bell screamed again. Same static, same click. Her hands felt colder, and the living room air seemed to press closer against her. The hallway phone jack was coated in dust. The living room cord had been sliced clean, and in the kitchen drawer lay an old bill stamped "Service Disconnected." So how was the house ringing? The third time she answered slowly, the receiver tight in her palm. Static crawled across her skin, and then a voice slipped through. Low, steady, deliberate. "Don't go upstairs." Her breath caught. The children were asleep upstairs. The staircase stretched in front of her like an open throat. Above, a floorboard creaked. Not random, but weighted. "Who is this?" she whispered. The voice sharpened only slightly. "Don't go upstairs." Her body acted before her mind could. She bolted to the kids' room, scooped them up, and ran. Bare feet on wood, locks clattering, porch light cutting the night. Her screams woke neighbors who swore later it didn't sound like her own voice. Police searched. First floor, second floor, then the attic, a crawl of hot insulation. There they found a folding chair worn into the boards, wrappers pressed flat, and a burner phone hacked into the dead lines. Someone had been camping above their heads, ringing dead phones, speaking into vents. Later she remembered the smell. Not mold, not dust, but something damp and unmistakably human, like breath left in a jar. And if you're still here after that, you're exactly the kind of listener stories like this look for. They spread quietly, one room to the next, one watch, one like, one subscriber at a time. Not an order, just a way for the dark to know who's paying attention. He kept the contact out of superstition. 2 years since the crash, the flowers withered, the posts faded, but the number stayed in his phone, glowing quietly in his favorites list. On a Tuesday at 2:47 a.m., the ceiling lit with his phone's glow. The name he hadn't spoken in months burned on the screen. He answered because there wasn't time to think. "Hello?" Breathing, fast, uneven, as though someone was running and trying not to be heard. "Say something," he begged. "Please." A hoarse whisper forced through clenched teeth. "Don't let him know I called." The words cracked like old wood, too rough to be fake, too wrong to be safe. "Who?" he asked. "Where are you?" The line didn't cut cleanly. It collapsed, choked into a busy stutter, as if another call had forced its way in. Redial, straight to voicemail, morning. "This number is no longer in service." He tried to wrap it in reason, spoofed calls, recycled numbers, stress, but the log remained. Incoming call. 2 minutes, 12 seconds. The name spelled exactly as he saved it years ago. The next week, he drove to the curve where his friend's name was carved into steel. The guardrail still bent like a scar. The flowers had dried to paper. He sat with the hazards blinking red, listening to the engine tick in the dark. The following Tuesday, he sat with his phone in his lap. 2:47 came. No call. He exhaled. Relief and disappointment tangled. At 2:48, the badge appeared anyway. One new voicemail, time-stamped at 2:47. He hadn't heard it ring. He pressed play. Static hissed. Then, 3 soft taps, like a phone knocking from behind glass. Then one word, distorted but clear: basement. He froze, the phone trembling in his hand. Later, he would move to a new place, leave the old keys behind. But some nights, when the clock edges toward 2:47, he still watches the door instead of the phone, because grief doesn't knock, it calls, and sometimes it remembers your schedule. She was a student who believed in alarms and exits, in rules and lists, but the calls didn't care what she believed. At 2:19 a.m., the first one came. Unknown number. She answered. Static scraped like broken glass across her ear, then breathing, wet, patient, matching her every inhale. Night 2. Don't take the bus. The whisper dry as paper, steady as a promise. She blocked the number. Night 3, her phone on airplane mode, buried under a hoodie. At 2:19, the dark still lit up with a white banner. Unknown. She didn't touch it. It answered itself. Don't sit near the window. Night 4. It happens tomorrow. She barely slept. Failed a quiz. At 2:09 p.m., rain combed the streets while she stood at the bus stop, promising herself she'd walk. The bus arrived late. The crowd pushed. The window seat was the only one free. She sat. At 2:19 p.m., the driver lost control. The bus screamed across slick asphalt, metal folding, glass bursting into dust. The side with the windows took the hit. She did not get up. When her phone was recovered, screen cracked into light. The log showed one last call. 2:18 p.m. incoming. From her own number. Voicemail attached. Her mother pressed play at the kitchen table. Through hiss and traffic came her daughter's voice whispering, "Don't sit near the window." The carrier flagged the source as unknown. The transcript failed. The safety alert arrived an hour late. The roommate doesn't take buses anymore. She says warnings don't wait to be understood. They slip through walls, through habits, through sleep, and sometimes when the house feels too quiet, she swears she hears that phrase again. Not from her phone, but from the dark itself. 3 calls. 3 voices that never should have been heard, and now you've heard them too. So if your phone stirs after midnight, look at the screen carefully. If it says unknown, let it ring until it forgets you, because the moment you answer, you've told it exactly where to find you.